creation of Nerve has been kind of explained, but more so just left me with a ton of extra questions that I still really need answered. And I'm not sure when and how and if and whatever is gonna happen here. So we're just gonna let it play out and we're gonna see. Like I said last time, had to take the break, had to go through and edit and see if I was missing some stuff. I didn't feel like I was that off on a lot of the stuff I was saying, and I still kind of came out of it feeling the same way. Well, it definitely maybe reassured a couple things that I was feeling or cleared up some stuff that I may have questioned prior. I think a lot of it was kind of on point, so maybe I just need to learn to trust myself a little bit more with what I'm going into for this. And that video is not even up yet, so you guys couldn't have helped me just yet, which is unfortunate, I guess, at the same time, but we're trying to get, for my own sanity and making sure that I don't miss like a ton of extra days and, we don't have videos up for a week at a time or something. It's better if I move at my own pace here and do it like this. So hopefully we get some more of that stuff answered. Here's the second episode of the director's cut that we're going to have. And I'm excited to maybe have a couple more things answered. I don't think we're going to be flashback state anymore. We're probably going to push forward a little bit more would be my, my guess, right? And we would probably go back to present day almost. And maybe we will. Maybe it is. Maybe this like series of episodes is all flashbacks almost, like all reflecting on things that have happened that have brought us to today until we end up coming out of it in a couple episodes. And then we have like climax moment or climax until movie moment, which I believe would be climax moment. So maybe that's kind of what we go into. I don't know. I'm actually interested. So we'll get into that and we'll see. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you like it all, like and subscribe to me. Not to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Let me comments with this episode or series. Let's get going with episode 22. Is this... So this is prior to her coming over? Prior to our meeting episode like 8 or whatever? It's not you. Right. Mature older men like you. To hear somebody say that. Good guy, good man. Hold strong. Uh-oh, we're going in. Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
研究ばかりの毎日で娘を構ってやる余裕もありませんでしたが、人間と人形の差なんて紙一重なのかもしれません。人形は人間が自分の姿を模して作った。
Similar to what we're doing with something else, right?
我々はその人形に過ぎないのかもしれません。近代医学の担い手とは思えないお言葉ですが。
偉いのね、アスカちゃん。いいのよ、我慢しなくても。いいの、私は泣かない。私は自分で考える。
させましょう。今は同時に修理できるだけのゆとりはないわ。
Rhea has nothing going on in her head, so she's always mentally stable.
アダムより生まれし者、エヴァシリーズ。セカンドインパクトを引き起こした原因たるものまで流用しなければ、私たちは使徒に勝てない。逆に生きるためには自分たちを滅ぼそうとしたものをも利用する。それが人間なのね。やはり私は
Use the weapons used against us for us.
建造開始？世界7カ所で？
What the fuck? Last we heard we were up to like 7 or 8, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. We should probably get a move on it. We also lost an entire operation site, right?
最近随分と金が動いてるわね。
ここに来て予算倍増ですからね。それだけ上も切羽詰まってるってことでしょうか。
委員会の焦りらしきものを感じるわね。
Mm-hmm.
では今までのような単独ではなく使徒の複数同時展開のケースを設定したも
Only
のです。
Gendo would know.
お客様の都合により現在
Is she trying to reach out to Kaji?
変ね。やっぱり繋がらない。
Uh-oh.
またどっかに行っちゃったのか。
Well, yeah, somewhere extremely fucking far. Mm.
この間まで1ヶ月もエヴァーに溶け込んでたくせに、何よ、すっかり元の鞘に収まっちゃってさ。どうせ私は負けたわよ。あんたなんか。
Jesus. He feels the tension.
3人揃ったってのにギスギスしてるわね。
Nobody can even talk.
ごちそうさま。
アスカ、
いやよ。どうせカジさんから見定ての出るでしょ。
Yeah.
よ。
そ
I
れは
don't
何
think so.
神様にそのような雑務を。申し訳ないですわね。
はい、もしもし。
何よ、すましずらしちゃってさ。
What's with yours? To be honest, you're always like that. Oh no.
お母さんから
What?
私にママから貸しなさいよ。
知らない言葉で話しているとまるでアスカが知らない人みたい。
Mm.
あ、そう。Das ist aber toll.
お母さんか。
Yeah, this feels wrong.
How is it cut?
随
Mm.
分長電話だったじゃない。
ま、いつものコミュニケーションってやつ。
いいな、家族の会話。
ま
あ
あ、表層的なものよ。本当の母親じゃない。
She looks so different there. With her hair down.
ミサトやバカシンジの使ったお湯なんかに誰が入るもんか。ミサトやバカシンジと同じ空気を誰が吸うもんか。ミサトも嫌、シンジも嫌、ファーストはもっと嫌。パパも嫌、ママも嫌。でも自分が一番嫌。もう嫌、我慢できない。なんで私が、
Ugh. Also, sorry I'm not saying much. I literally got nothing to say right now. I just let it happen.
さらに落ちてるじゃない。アスカ、今日調子悪いのよ。2日目だし、シンクロ率は表層的な身体の不調に左右されないわ。
Mm.
問題はもっと深層意識にあるプライド、ガタガタね。
Absolutely.
無理もないわよ、あんな負け方しちゃ。っていうより、シンジ君に負けたって思ってる方が多い。臨界点突破？楽しかった家族ごっこもここまで。猫で寂しさ紛らわせてた人に言われたかないわね。そんなセリフ。
Mm. That's disrespectful to everybody in the world who does that. And some people on the other side you don't want to see, right? I love her blocking it the whole way through, so you're wondering. I was thinking, Ray. Alright. Anybody else, there would have been some sort of reaction, right? The one you want to be with least. Man, we're really building that. It's one of those scenes in reality, it's probably only going to be like 15 or 20 seconds.
心を開かなければエヴァは動かないわ。
心を閉ざしてるってのこの私が。
そう、エヴァには心がある。
あの人形に。
分かってるはずよ。
Those puppets, I'd consider possibly you're the one.
ダイバーに乗れないのがそんなに嬉しい。
Nope.
心配しなくっても使徒が攻めてきたら無敵の神事様がやっつけてくれるわよ。私たちは何にもしなくていいのよ。神事だけがいればいいのよ。はあ、
She just wants to feel wanted.
人形みたいなあんたにまで同情されるとは、この私も焼きが回ったわね。
私は人形じゃない。
うるさい。人に言われたまま動くくせに、あんた碇司令が死ねと言ったら死ぬんでしょう。
そうよ。
やっぱり人形じゃない。あんたって人形みたいで、ほんと昔から大嫌いなのよ。みんな大嫌い。
Eruption. But nothing new.
アスカも来ない。鈴原もまだ退院できないし。
Damn, bro, we have nobody left in the class. Yeah. The world's on its end here. We got some problems to worry about instead.
やっと元に戻ったわね。あんな負け方したくせに。あなたは私の人形なんだから、黙って私の言う通りに動けばいいのよ。
You do as I instruct and I say, but in reality it's the other way.
私の命令に逆らわなきゃいいのよ。ん？ばっかみたい。
And this likely has a opportunity for Angel Attack and Asuka to connect and open herself up and connect likely at the soul. Oh, that's fucking wings? Oh.
0号機発進頂上蹴り射撃用意2号機アスカはバックアップとして発進準備バックアップ私が0号機の
You got third string now. Yep.
アスカいいわ
You're not needed at all. And look at you falling bottom of the line.
ここでダメならアスカもこれまでということね
ラストチャンスですか。
2号機パイロットの変化
出さないんですか？
凍結なのよ碇司令の絶対命令でね
Does he just want to see, well, like after what it turned into, that he's concerned? Or is it more of a, wants to see if she can do things? Or he's worried, he's definitely not worried about Shinji. So I wonder.
これを失敗したら多分2号機を降ろされる。
Alright, you're aware of that. No mistakes, but at the same time, lock in. Don't focus on what Shinji, well, Shinji's not battling right now, so don't focus on what Rei's doing and what's going on there. And use your head. We've seen you're capable of it.
もうさっさとこっちへ来なさいよ、じれったいわね。
Oh my god.
敵の指向性兵器なの
Uh-oh.
心理グラフが乱れています。精神要請が始まります。
使徒が心理攻撃まさか使徒に人の心が理解できるの
What the fuck? The way the arms twisting up. I gotta see what those flashes are saying. I can't see it.
精神回路がズタズタにされているこれ以上の過負荷は危険すぎるアスカ戻って嫌よ命令よアスカ撤退しなさいいや絶対に嫌今戻るならここで死んだ方がマシだわ
Can we open ourselves for opportunity for her to free herself and open herself up to a point that her unit can kind of take over for itself here and protect in a way? Jesus Christ. Even when we hit it, there's a problem, right?
この光はまるでアスカの精神波長を探っているみたいだまさか使徒は人の心を知ろうとしているの
It seems like it. Blast her so hard into a into a flashback.
もう泣かないって決めたのに。私は子供じゃない。早く大人になるの。
Other version of it.
私にはいらないわ。だから私を見て、ママ、お願いだからママをやめないで。
Get left behind, they leave you.
お願いだから私を殺さないで。いや、私はママの人形じゃない。自分で考え、自分で生きるの。パパもママもいらない。一人で生きるの。いや、そんなの思い出させないで。せっかく忘れてるのに掘り起こさないで。そんな嫌なこともういらないの。スカちゃん、一緒に死んでちょうだい。一緒に死ぬわ、ママ。だから。
So she won't have a similar thing, right?
知らないわ
Because hers doesn't want to be here.
誰
総流アスカラングレーです。よろしく。あんたバカ？チャンス。だから私を見て。違う。こんなの私じゃない。総流アスカラ。
posing as something that you're not, as a way to cover up for the insecurities and the things that you've locked with the way, right? The change of tone and expression and everything that she says too. Until you can find who you are, but it's not the choice of words or the way that you're acting out or doing things that's not you, right? Or that is what's not you. What a weird state to be. But he still leaves you, he still sees you that way.
なんであんたがそこにいんのよ。何もしない。私を助けてくれない。抱きしめてもくれないくせに。誰もだから私を見て。寂しいの。
Absolutely.
寂しいの。
She made that choice very young.
そばに来ないで。
To isolate herself. Yep.
私のこと好き？
Closed herself off from a very young age.
一人で生きていけるの。嘘ばっかり。
Mm-hmm.
汚された。私の心が。
It's more so been open from the things you suppressed behind.
汚されちゃった。どうしよう。汚されちゃったよ。
Just the snap to this music. Fucking insane.
途中から狙撃するか。いえ、ダメね。接近中に撃たれたらおしまいだわ。
僕が初号機で出ます。
いかん。
The hero.
の精神を侵食するタイプだ。
今初号機を侵食される事態は避けられない。
だったらやらなきゃいいんでしょ。
その保証はない。
でもこのままじゃアスカが。
That's not important to them.
ドグマを降りて槍を使え。
ロンギヌスの槍をか。
The spear.
AT フィールドの届かぬ衛星軌道の目標を倒すにはそれしかない。
Can that reach it? Well, I guess it did. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
と引き起こす可能性があまりに危険です。碇司令、やめてください。
Brother's holding true on it.
なのね。セカンドインパクトは死との接触が原因では。
Oh. Unless it does, and it's literally what he wants, and he does not give a fuck if it does happen. But I'm more so led to believe that she saw through it. Don't we have to rip it out of him to be able to use it too? Because isn't it inside of him?
そんなことでは。だったらセカンドインパクトの原因。
委員会はエヴァシリーズの量産に着手した。チャンスだ冬月。しかしなあ。
What is...
例の針は
What's her...
戻らない。だが自らの手で進めることはできる。
That's an insane thing to say.
老人たちが黙って。
They haven't stood for anything that we fucking did. Yeah, rip that thing out. We're operating like 4 steps ahead, dude.
2号機を失うのは得策ではない。
かといってロンギヌスの槍をゼーレの許可なく使うのは面倒だぞ。
それ以上の意味はないよ。
理由？お前が欲しいのは口実だろ。
We're really gonna launch this bitch in and hope that it hits. That's insane. As Adam just fucking grows in your cracks. Come on, right? Most insane shit that'll go down if this does cause the most crazy explosion you've ever seen. Oh, that's so cool. That's so fucking sick. That'll break through though. We don't get that back though now, huh?
移行しています。
回収は不可能に近いな。
Yeah.
あの質量を持ち帰る手段は今のところありません。
Till it just fucking somehow falls out of orbit. It's the ground that's such an impact that it causes the impact.
よかったね、アスカ。
うるさいわね。ちっともよくないわよ。距離にもよってあの女に助けられるなんて。あんな
Person you hate the most, right?
そんなことなら死んだ方がマシだったわよ。嫌い嫌いみんな嫌
this doesn't fit. All right. The Asuka backstory has finally made its way in, being the first, essentially, I would say, of our three main to really get something kind of about them. Well, we've like slowly been given info about things that maybe Shinji's kind of seen, or who Rei is, and like the things kind of about her. She's the first one that they've really like fleshed something out with for the years kind of leading up to what ended up coming here, which gives lots of answers for why she kind of acts out the way that she does, why she always has been the way that she is. Well, a lot of that can be almost guessed, I would say, through like the initial interactions and stuff. And I say that because I assume that a lot of this was the reasons why. I mean, not down to all the specifics, but reasons why she acted out the way that she was. Probably I was under the assumption, at least, that she had parents or somebody around her who kind of threw her away or didn't want her around. And as a result of whatever the scenario ended up being, led to her wanting to be wanted, right? Led to her wanting to prove herself to others, prove herself to herself, and put herself in a variety of those situations. And we get a lot of clarity on a lot of that, while some of that kind of being true, but a lot of it also coming down to her viewing herself like or being viewed as a child by everybody else kind of around her, right? Her mom viewing this doll as who she actually was, and her not wanting to be looked at or viewed as a doll by anybody else, her wanting to make her own choice, her not wanting to be that child that everybody can kind of look at, and her trying to prove that by showing off her independence, right? Showing that she doesn't need these other people, that she can do things on her own, that she does have a path for herself, that she's plenty capable on her own, and her constantly living her entire life like that, right? Putting up these walls around her, wearing loads and loads of masks on top of that, trying to act as though she's something that she's really not, right? Suppressing all these things. And we see a lot of similarities, like an extreme amount of similarities between her and Shinji. This episode displayed especially, which is really neat, I would say. It's them on opposite ends of it, right? He is, okay, all of this stuff is bad. Let me suppress this. Let me not think about it. Let me not do any of this. Let me isolate myself. Let me, shell myself in, like retreat, all of that. Her, while she does essentially the same thing with suppressing all of this stuff, right? These are memories and things that she had that she's long kind of tried to forget and suppress extreme amounts to the point that she, mentally got completely destroyed by this thing and taken over by this angel that ended up coming in and really, pulling all that stuff to the front of her mind and making her kind of have to relive through all this trauma and these things that were have occurred in her life that she's constantly tried to suppress. The similarity coming from her and Shinji both trying to suppress these things that aren't so pleasant within their lives and only focus on the things that they can find any sort of pleasant things within, right? But it all comes so much more and makes so much more sense too when you see the similarities between the two, when you see how both of them had abandonment issues at multiple times with their parents, right? Not feeling loved, not feeling wanted by those people, just kind of out of their way, going for approval and praise and these things from these people. He is slightly getting it from his father nowadays. That's the thing that makes him happiest. She's kind of moved on from it and understanding her position where she won't get it from them and found other people where she's trying to do these things for, whether it's everybody entirely or maybe somebody like simply like Kaji or something, where they can simply see and praise her for the things that she kind of does. And that's all that they're really after, is that approval for how other people see them, maybe not necessarily what they're happy with and who they are themselves and what they've kind of done and accomplished, but more so the way that other people are going to kind of want and need them and not view them as that burden, not view them as that child, right? We get a variety of other scenes too, right? We've seen Shinji coming face to face with somebody like Gendo at a moment, right? The person that he claims that he hasn't actually claimed it, but you could have made the assumption up to that point, the person that he had the most hate for, right? Coming face to face with him, not being able to take that step forward, enter that room with him, freezing up completely and just looking at him. And I believe that was actually in an elevator too, where he was seeing him in it and he ended up not getting into it and waiting for it to pass at the time. And we see it once again, a similar situation with Asuka, and she gets in where the person who she keeps claiming that she hates the most, being Rei, not wanting to take that step forward and walk in, but she actually took that step forward and walked directly into it. She's the complete opposite, like I said, where he would stand still, he would retreat, he would hide from those those things, she masks up, right? She puts up that wall and she walks right in and she says, I don't care, and acts like everything's completely fine and normal with the way that it is, trying to prove her dominance and assertiveness almost in a lot of these scenes. The attention and praise and everything that she wants being something that she openly asks for constantly, and very capable of showing that, right? She wants to put that all on display here. I think it makes a lot of sense too, I guess, why her attachment to Kaji became something where, because you'd assume that she would just kind of resent literally everybody and anybody, and not really become fascinated with somebody, but maybe it simply was just an attraction to him. But it feels more like he's the possible first person that she possibly ran into that she would end up seeing and being like, this is the idealized version of kind of what I want to be. He's somebody who's like kind of independent, he's strong, he's attractive, you would say, right? And this is like something where she would kind of want to be in that position, and she's always pushed hard and tried to put herself in that position, and prove to those around her, right, that she can be this type of person. So looking at somebody like him would make a lot of sense why she gained such an interest in him, and wants to be extremely close to him, and would be so open to opening herself up to that person. But that's why it stings so much more for her over and over whenever he shuts her down and talks about her being a child, or his view of her like that, right? Not something that she wants to hear at all, right? She just keeps trying to push and prove to herself that that's not the case. But in reality, it still is just strictly off of an age-based thing, but also by your own mental capacity, right? Your own ability to showcase everything that you have up to this point as well. It's really sad, I guess you would say, from that point, finding that person finally, but everybody else still kind of views you as this, and he almost views her as useless, or not a use to him, not something that he kind of needs around him or within his life. And once again, she gets pushed away and thrown away by somebody who she actually has kind of tried to open herself up to and grow close to, hence her struggle so much to do that with so many other people over time now. And it's, I don't know, I think that's pretty cool though. We didn't actually get an OP either, which is interesting. It's nice to see too the intro with the two of them a little bit before they kind of get there to Japan. That kind of is, and her outwardly trying to push herself onto him. And I really do appreciate him not letting that happen, you know, him having a problem with that being the situation, and actually going out of his way and being like, no, like, you know, we see how he is with a lot of different women and stuff. So I guess that's the clear distinction between him still seeing her as a child as well. But I do respect that, because I feel like a lot of times we build up a character like him to still go for somebody like her. Her mother commits suicide, according to them at least. See, this is another thing where I'm still like unsure, because if we're going to live under the assumption that Shinji's mother is somehow part of the Eva, or things of her are kind of uploaded or something within it, I'm almost like left to kind of believe that her mom has something to do with her own unit. Like that would just track and make sense, but I guess at the same time that doesn't have to be the case, and that could be why priority so much is placed on the first unit. But I would leave that assumption just to the fact that that's literally Gundo's wife, so he cares the most about that in that scenario. So I'd be left to like be a little cautious or suspicious of this exact reasoning and thing happening here. But her mom is basically going through it. She's completely lost it, which we get to see a similarity almost when Asuka kind of goes through it and has this kind of similar moment as well, where her mental is kind of fucked up, and psychologically is everything's gone at that point. And we're seeing that with her mom, basically assuming that she's this doll at this point, and she's trying to prove that she isn't, and she wants to prove that she's independent and she can move forward and do all these things on her own. And she's literally not one of these things that this person ends up seeing her as. If God exists, we may not be nothing more than dolls to him. Crazy way to put that. Sync rates constantly going down because her mental is clouded in this moment, and things aren't getting completely freed up. We're constructing a ton of different Evas. Why that's happening, I have zero clue, but they're really ramping up and expecting a lot of things. They made the assumption that it could be because multiple are coming at once. It could be because we're getting to the really strong ones that are going to be extremely difficult for us to take out. It could be for other reasons as well. We really don't know. We can't do anything but speculate due to the fact that we have no clue what Seal's looking at or thinking themselves, or even what Gendo's up to and what's going on his end there. Asuka, of course, not knowing still what's going on with Kaji, not being told by anybody, and she sees Shinji bouncing back with Rei, and of course that pisses her off a little bit more too. Her struggling and not being able to find happiness or doing any of these things, and Shinji, somebody who I just talked about, can relate so much to her, actually somebody that's on that similar and same level to her, and they are very similar as people. So seeing somebody who's on that complete opposite end be able to look what looks like on the outside, find some happiness and stuff, of course is gonna piss her off. I mean, that's not something that she'll be too happy with. I love the tension building that they do at so many different moments, especially here. Just nobody wants to talk to each other. They can't do anything. Masato's almost like dead and doesn't know like what to do, emotionally at least. And we see a similarity once again to what she did before with Shinji, not telling him about Toji being the other pilot, letting everybody else kind of find these things out on their own, and how much she regretted it and did all those things. And now we're keeping the secret from Asuka. She knows how important somebody like Kaji is to her, and it doesn't seem like she has any clue at all about what ended up going down, unless she was told and she just won't believe it at all. But I don't believe that to be the case in the slightest. So of course that's not a cool thing, and we need her to kind of come forward and come clean about these things. But now you have to think about it. What just happened by the end of this? How's that going to make Asuka feel? Right? Like she's going to be completely destroyed even further past where she ended up being at this point. She picks up the phone and she talks to her mom, which I'm assuming is her stepmom, would we make the assumption. So likely her dad probably remarried, or she went into some sort of foster care thing and somebody else took after her. I don't know if they actually stated that and I just overlooked it and missed it, but I guess we could assume it was either one. She doesn't really like this lady at all, and she doesn't kind of claim her as her own mom, but she puts on that face and she talks like she's all happy and things are going well. I was assuming at the time that maybe because of the lack translation and stuff, it could be like pretty nasty things being said in like nice tone, which also still could be true, but I'm starting to believe maybe it is just putting up an act and acting like things are good when in reality they're not. I mean, we literally see the moment that she hung up, like her very unhappy face that she was having. It makes her sick to have to kind of be anything like these people. She's nothing similar to them, right? She doesn't want to have to be in association at all really with any of them. She hates so many people, but realistically, as she ends up lashing out and saying she hates herself the most for building herself up her entire life, putting herself in the position that she has to almost live in today, but also her inability to live out and kind of express the stuff openly and just live normally, as opposed to kind of keep masking and putting on this facade that it literally shouldn't be her, and it's not who she wants to actually view herself as. The elevator scene, how long did this actually last? I'm curious. So we get in around 12. She doesn't say anything until, so it is over a minute. It's just over a minute. No, it's a lot more than that. It's 2 minutes. It's basically 2 minutes we're in the elevator. I was going to say, I think, a comment at the time before Ray started speaking of how it was probably one of those things that's actually only like 20 or 30 seconds, but it feels like it's forever. And it like does a really good job at kind of capturing that due to the silence and everything. But no, they drag that for, for a while. But it still does kind of, I think, the intended purpose of it, of just showing, you know, how unable the two of them are to open up with each other. But at the same time, the awkwardness kind of coming between it and the lack of like them kind of being friendly with each other in that moment. Asuka snaps when she gets told basically you need to open your heart up a little bit more to the Eva, which feeds more into like the whole like soul thing, and it needs to kind of connect and sync properly with you, and it can't do that if you're closing yourself in and you're hiding all these traumas and these things that you have from the past without opening yourself up fully, which was leading me more towards, if we did do something and there is some sort of thing within her of possibly what her mother is or whatever, we could utilize that a little bit as a way of her finally opening herself up and freeing herself and letting herself kind of connect with this, and then be a lot stronger in tactical and just better within battle, which didn't end up seeming to be the case in the slightest. Nobody's at school, of course. I love Asuka talking to her Eva here, almost like it is this object. You have to obey my orders, like it is the doll that she's kind of controlling here. She won't be the doll, but she's the one kind of controlling this in that moment. But that's not also the case either. These things kind of have immense power and ability to operate and do all these things on their own, as we've kind of seen by each of them taking over and going rogue on their own at different moments so far. You're kind of being the doll. You're being the one who's just being utilized. You're the one you're being played with by this thing at a certain point, if it really wants to, which is kind of scary and crazy. This is such a cool design for them to have, especially because it's just fucking floating out there in orbit. Absolutely insane. Asuka won't listen to any orders and takes off on her own and goes on the attack. this does not end well in the slightest, as she just gets completely blown away. Her mind is lost at this point, and she goes through such a crazy episode where all of these things are coming back to her. Crazy line for them to say too. I can't I can't lie. Absolute insane translation for us to have. But not wanting this thing to kind of come in and pull all these memories to the front of her mind for them to get in there and do anything. Doesn't want them to, this angel or this object, to come in and kind of corrupt her in any sort of way either. Digging straight through and digging into her heart, the things that she's closed off, the things that she won't open up to anybody. We cannot attack it. Absolutely nothing is going our way, which gives us a lot of backstory and things about Asuka. I don't need these things. Look at me. I'm not this doll, you know. I'm capable of living on my own. I'm capable of doing all these things. Such a gross kind of thing of seeing these dolls being hung and everything. Really is creepy. This, I don't fully get this, I guess, but I was interpreting this scene almost as seeing all these things and stuff that she's kind of replaying constantly in her mind, and these thoughts that she's having, and these visions of things and actions that she's done in the past, as her saying that's not me, despite the tone changes and the way that the voice and everything was coming out with the same lines over and over, is regardless of the way I say it, regardless of the actions and all those things that I am doing, and how that's coming and how much we alter it, change any of them, that's not actually who I am. This is a front. This is like some sort of fake version of myself that I'm putting up and displaying to other people. And her reflecting on it in this moment is her kind of coming to terms, or trying to tell herself at least that that's not actually what I am. I'm not doing that. I'm not the type of person who would say all these type of things, or just look like that or act like that in any sort of way. I'm not. That's not me. Having this different version almost of herself in her head, but also a different version of her deep within her that she can't openly let out and allow other people to see. So no matter how much she alters or changes these things, that just really isn't and truly isn't her at the end of the day. Maybe that's not exactly how it is, but that's almost the way that I took it. Things get really trippy at these moments. You're still a child, hearing that over and over. Absolutely nobody will look at you. Absolutely nobody wants you. Aren't you lonely? Absolutely not. Stay away from me. It's like, no, there you fucking are. And you're struggling to really let that out and find somebody who loves you. We get a lot of different flashes of different words and things come up. I don't know, like, that they were happening all like this. I'm assuming all of them are important, but they're all related to things and issues that she's kind of going through and had throughout her life that have led to her almost acting the way that she has at this point, until her unit just shuts down and she just breaks completely. And we have to figure out what to do. Gendo says, fuck it, we're taking out the spear. We're going all the way for it. Masato starts really questioning, under the assumption that contact of Adam with Ava and everything is the things that ended up resulting, or Adam with human or whatever it was, is what resulted in the second impact, but now starting to come to the conclusions that it doesn't matter, the combination or whoever he was attacked or connected to and came in contact with, it doesn't seem to be the case for what actually caused it, which gets her really questioning and wondering things, which makes me wonder, are we going to get into something where she almost follows through the stuff that Kaji kind of was looking into, trying to expose all these things and figure out everything about what Nerve is doing, about what Gendo's doing? Is she going to continue and follow in that path while she's on her own here? I think, and that would be pretty cool if they end up going to it. We take out the spear, which we assume was suppressing or doing something to allow us to keep Adam in the state, because the moment we take him out, bro starts fucking growing, which is definitely a troublesome thing for us to actually end up having here, where we end up getting it though, and we launch it, which is fucking sick as hell, with the way that they showcase it and having it come out right, really launch that bitch up there though, and it pierced right through, and it's able to take everything out how we need it, but we lose the spear in the process, which is this huge important thing for us. And it's like, what the fuck do we do now when it comes down? Is there any sort of way for it to come back down, I wonder? Just randomly drops out of orbit one day and just fucking launches it and just causes it. Maybe that's the thing that caused it. I don't know. I actually have no idea. I'm just gonna get into it. I'll see. But she is not happy at all, rather than being saved by somebody like that, somebody that she thinks that she hates the most and complains about there. I would have rather die. I hate everybody so much, herself included, in that moment. Kind of a funky D here. But I don't know. I don't think it matched too much with it, but whatever. That's all I'm going to have. I don't know if a lot of that was kind of put together too well, but I said what I what I could there. And what I could get out of there. Hopefully you guys got something out of it though, or hopefully some of what I said makes sense, but we'll just move forward into the next one and see what actually happens. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you liked it all, like and subscribe to me a lot to me. Feel free to check out the videos and channel, leave comments with this episode or series. I'll be back for episode 23 very soon. I hope you guys have a great one. Peace.